Happy Monday, everybody. Welcome to the Wildflower Wills YouTube channel. It's Monday, which means it is cast on day, it's voting day, it's knit night day. And grab your knitting, a drink, whatever you want. Get comfy. We're going to chat for an hour. We're going to talk about the yarn you were voting for, the project I'm going to make, and show you what I've been knitting on this past week. And then we'll end up the hour chatting about what you're working on, maybe the Fiber Friends Striped Challenge projects for the month. And Kitchener Knitters Fair was this past weekend. So I have one new skein of yarn to show you, only one. So let's talk about yarn. Yarn you were voting for. This yarn was in my stash. And a remix probably wasn't there too long, like a couple years maybe, right? Hi ladies. I see some people coming in the chat. Classic wool, this has probably been around for a while. You know, 8, 10 years, maybe not quite that, maybe 8, maybe 8. 8 might be a reasonable amount. But anyways, okay, let's talk about the yarns. Sorry, you guys, my ring light quit working, so my lighting is a little darker than it probably usually is, so I'll just have to make do. Okay, Patton's Classic Wool, worsted, 100% wool, and the colorway, pretty in pink, which is absolutely what it is. It's a very much a bubblegum pink. Very pink. If you are a pink person, this would be something you would love. I actually think it's quite fun, nice and bright. Um, Remix, Barocco Remix. I picked up, remember the blue sweater? If you watched Jocelyn and I last Sunday night, I found my blue sweater that I was knitting out of Remix. And I was like, every time I pick up Remix, I'm like, why am I not knitting everything with Remix? Because it just feels so wonderful. So when I was down, this yarn came from the basement. This is like deep stash. It is stash that I don't typically look at. I found a great big huge box downstairs and started digging through it and came up with bags that had both of these balls in it. So the remix, I'm not entirely sure what I bought it for. It's a number 4, so a medium weight, a worsted weight. What does it tell us? It's a 100-gram ball, 200 meters, 216 yards. They are saying gauge-wise, a 5 millimeter crochet hook or a 5 millimeter knitting needle. 17 stitches to 4 inches is the knitting gauge. So 100% recycled fibers, which I really like. So there's no wool in this remix, which of course there's like no itch factor to this at all. Let me see. I'm going to read off the label because I can't remember. It's cotton, acrylic, nylon, cotton, acrylic, silk, linen. There was a list of things here. So what is it? It's 30 nylon, 27% cotton, 24 acrylic, 10 silk, 9 linen. Yeah, quite the mix in here. So I'm not sure what color this is. Does this say color? It just says a number. Color 3960. But I just called it red, but it is, I think Carrie said, she's like, what did Carrie ask? Is that like a Merlot or a Burgundy or something? And yes, it is. It's dark. It is more like a Burgundy. But this morning when I was posting the poll, I wasn't getting fancy. It was pink and red. So this one here, so good old classic wool, Patton's Classic Wool, 100% wool. It's a worsted weight because that's what I was looking for because I have the pattern picked out and it's knit with worsted weight. Um, this says a 4.5 millimeter needle, a 5 millimeter hook, and yardage wise, it can't, is Wait, I don't see. Oh, no. Sometimes here we are. It's like always, it's like a treasure hunt. It's like hide and seek, finding where they put the yardage on these ball bands. I swear, sometimes I can never find them sometimes. Okay, 192 meters. What was this? This was 200 meters. This is 192. Um, close, right? For a hat, 8 meters should not be a problem. Okay, so I was really, really interested in how you guys were all going to vote because this doesn't have wool and it's for a hat. Winter is coming. Somebody actually said that. It always makes me think of, oh my gosh, I just lost the show. Winter's coming. You guys all know what I mean. Anyways, it'll pop in my head in a second. Anyways, somebody did say winter's coming, so they're like, I gotta go with wool. But I'm really curious to see how this will knit up as a hat. Susanna, not sure if Susanna's in the comments yet tonight or not. She said she just finished a hat with Remix. So my thought process first thing this morning, I opened up Ravelry and I thought, okay, let me see what is kind of the trending, what are the top patterns that people are looking at, see if there's something small. You guys, I was almost thinking mitts. Mitts are coming. I am like thinking I have like this mitten knitting, I don't want to say curse, but not a phobia. I have a trend of not finishing mitts for some reason. I always seem to have trouble. I did knit a pair like what 2 winters ago that I absolutely loved and I wear every single day in the winter out of the Drops Air. But knitting them was problematic because the pattern had a mistake and I don't know, I didn't like the gauge or the number of stitches or something. So I ended up really just kind of winging it and just doing my own thing. But in the end, the mittens themselves were absolutely wonderful. So Game of Thrones, yes, yes, Game of Thrones. See, I knew. You just know, right? Winter is coming. And it is, yeah, Game of Thrones. Um, anyways, I just okay, totally forgot what I was talking about now. Anyways, what was I talking? Oh my gosh, you guys. I think this is gonna be a very scattered chat night tonight. Anyways, um, we'll talk about this yarn. Oh, yes, Susanna. So, oh no, didn't say that I had finished a hat remix. Oh, you finished one that was in hot pink. Okay. So, anyways, okay, sorry. I thought you had said you had done a remix one. So, anyway, so this morning, yes, when I was looking on Ravelry and I was like, okay, what is going to be a smallish project? And I was thinking of the mats, but I opened up and I saw this hat pattern and I'm like, oh my goodness. I am still like in cable knitting mode. And when Cheryl shows her sweater Saturday mornings or Sunday night, like it was last night, I'm like, I am loving those cables. And I saw this cable hat in Ravelry and like, that is going to be the project for this week. So I went downstairs looking for worsted weight yarn, and this is what I came up with. So, cabled hat, the nice like bubblegum pink is it's going to be warm because it's 100% wool. The cables will show up wonderfully well in the light pink color. So I thought, okay, this is definitely a contender for a cabled hat. And then I saw this and I'm like, oh, I want to knit everything with Remix. Then I'm like, okay, I'm like, what? And I knew there was cotton in here. So I took a quick look and I'm like, okay, is there enough nylon and acrylic to offset the cotton so it will be a good wearable hat? Because we all know cotton has no memory and linen and silk. How much memory does silk have, you guys? I don't really have enough experience knitting with silk to really know, but I'm thinking it is on the end as well of like not having a lot of memory. And that's kind of the same with hemp. So linen, linen. So the bottom three, linen, silk, cotton? No, cotton was the middle. But anyways, doesn't matter. So we've got 27%, 10%, and 9%. So basically 27, 37, 47. So just under half. You guys can correct me if I'm wrong. Now, like linen and hemp is not supposed to stretch. Like it's supposed to be pretty sturdy, but um, I don't know. There's only 9% of that in here. So I don't think that's going to be a big factor. But the cotton, we all know. So I was kind of thinking, quickly this morning as I was looking for yarn, and I was kind of thinking, okay, how will this knit up as a hat? The cotton is a little concerning because it doesn't have the stretch, but the nylon and acrylic should hopefully counteract that, is what I'm hoping. And it's cabled, so there's going to be some structure to it. So it's going to not want to stretch and grow as much as if it was just like a garter stitch something, right? Anyways, that's what I was thinking. And then I was wondering what you all thought about that. There was a couple people did say that I think the stitch definition would look better in the pink. And I think one person actually said they were concerned about the fiber content of this for a hat. So I am curious, has anybody used Remix for a hat? Anyways, let me tell you what the voting was, and then we can talk a little bit more about the yarns. So there was 122 votes tonight across all the platforms here on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram. 122 votes, which is a lot. And you guys totally surprised me, you have to say. I took a peek at the comments about, I don't know, 15, 20 minutes after I posted. And I saw a couple of comments and I thought, oh, okay, this is the way everybody's voting. Interesting, interesting. And tonight I came home and added up everything and I'm like, whoa, where the tides have changed here since I looked at the voting this morning. So it was very, very interesting. So 64%, I think, was what the winning yarn ended up with. Yeah, I was I was surprised. I don't know which one I would have preferred. Maybe the remix, just because it is like my yarn of the week. I'm like obsessed with this yarn now. Oh, Liz is giving me my drum roll here. So, okay, with 64% of the votes, the hat that I'm going to cast on this week is, insert your own drum roll, the remix. So I am excited to knit with this. Okay, so see, yeah, Mary's saying, I think remix will be too drapey. Well, Diane, I know, Diane, you really wanted the pink, didn't you? Well, not this week. Or maybe this will be the week that I whip out two hats because they're only hats, right? It could be, um, you never know. Anyways, the remix, 64% of the votes went to remix. So I thought this will be a good test. If Diane's like, no, I know the remix, it's almost pinky-ish, right? It's in the pink family. So it's going to be a good test to knit this because I think I will keep this for myself. I keep thinking I want to put everything in in the gift box, but then I keep keeping it for me. So my gift box is looking fairly empty at this point. But Mary, yes, you love Remix for garments. Yes, like it makes a great sweater. Like my navy sweater that's sitting here feels so wonderful. But you know what? We're gonna try a hat with it because I figure a hat is one ball of yarn. I'm gonna try it and see and keep it and wear it myself and see if it does stretch, see if I wash it, throw it in the dryer even. Um, See if it pulls back in. It's one ball, one hat, 1 week's well, 1 week's worth of knitting for most hat knitters. It could be multiple weeks for me, but um, we'll see. I guess you never know until you try it, right? And then I also think, on the other hand, too, it's a hat. It's one ball. It's not an expensive. Well, I don't know. I mean, Remix is probably more expensive than some yarns, but it's still only one ball, right? So if it does a hat, if it knits into a hat and you can wear it for one season, if it doesn't make it into the next, is that the end of the world either? Maybe not, right? I mean, I know a lot of my like hats and mitts and shawls and things I have used winter after winter after winter until the fact that I'm pretty much tired of most things that I have and want to replace them all. So I don't know. I guess it depends, right? If this is going to be a $20 hat, does it pay for itself to wear, kind of daily throughout one winter and then discard it and knit something else the next year? I don't know. I think I would be fine with that. Um, oh, Liz, you only voted for remix because the pink was too pink. It is very pink. It is, but see, Diane loves the pink. So yeah, and this is definitely a more a fall color for sure. Carol, oh, if you knit a double band, the inside, okay, what is that? The inside half in another yarn with wool, then the rest of the hat in remix, would that help it keep its shape? Interesting. So if you knit a double band, so like 2 inches of, like you're talking, yeah, like the band. I guess that is the word, right? I keep wanting to say cuff, but it's not a cuff, it is a band. Inside, would that, I mean, really, it would because like up here, you're not so worried about it stretching. It's around here. Could be. That might work. But then there's the other people that knit with this because they can't wear wool. So they would just knit with this and wear it. I don't know. It's interesting. I'm going to take a look. I didn't have time this morning before I left for work to go like peruse through Ravelry and see how many hats there are in projects. Um, did I say that right? How many project pages there are with hats made out of Remix and see if there is. I mean, I'm sure there has to be because people who don't wear wool, this would be a good option for them. And then maybe they are of that mind, right? That it's not going to be an heirloom project that you were going to have for 20 years, like a Briggs and Little hat. You could have that forever and ever. But then you just get the fun of reknitting a different hat. Pick a different pattern, make yourself a different hat every year. I don't know. We will see. I'm going to like mark this on my calendar. Like in January. It's like report back about the Bates hat and see how it ended up. That is, of course, if I get it finished. So let's see. I'm going to show you. I took a quick picture of the hat because I cannot share my screen. I tried troubleshooting that and got absolutely nowhere. So we're going to go old school here, you guys. And I have a picture of the hat. So it's on Ravelry. It is a free pattern. It's called Bates. And the designer is Luke Gilligan. Now this, I just love this. Okay, okay, I need to stop. All right, I'm just going to show you this. There. Can you kind of see? Oh, maybe there. So it looks fairly easy, but enough cable interest to keep some, Louise, that's fantastic. Okay, some interest. I think I just kind of looked through, I downloaded the pattern, and I think it's just like a 4-stitch cable, like a 2x2 right and left. Nothing fancy at all, but I think it is just going to be a great wearable hat, right? And it would be good for anybody. It doesn't look, I don't know, I think it would just be good for everybody. Okay, so I saw somebody, you guys always jump in here. So Louise says there is 40 pages on Ravelry of hats that were knit with remix worsted. I think I was way overthinking this and obviously maybe didn't need to. If there's 40 pages, there's obviously people knitting it. But there again, is it maybe the best choice? Maybe not. But maybe there's worse ones too. Okay, so there 40, yeah. Okay. I think we'll still be a test to see and to see how warm it is, right? I mean, nylon, cotton, acrylic, it's not going to be super, super warm, not as warm as the wool, but maybe that's okay for more of a fall, spring, like, when the weather's just maybe not like -30, or maybe it's -30 when you just go from the house to the car, not out all day skiing or something, right? But anyways, I think it's a hat. I'm gonna knit it. I need to stop thinking about all the ifs, ands, and buts, right? Like, um, it'll be a perfect hat for a certain outdoor activities, right? It'll be fine. Okay, so hi Deborah. I've only used the yarn for a mosaic crochet blanket. Oh my gosh, that would feel wonderful. I just love the feel of it. You guys, if you have not felt this remix, next time you are at your yarn shop, like just really go check it out if they have it and just fondle it because it does have like because there's no wool, there's no pickiness to it, and the nylon makes it soft, and then there's that little bit of silk in there. Right. It's really, really nice. Mary, it's beautiful. Hope it works. I know. I hope it does too. So we will find out. It's exciting. It's a knitting adventure. I'm sure it'll be perfectly fine. Okay, so that's it, you guys. Thanks for voting. Honestly, you guys, I was really, really surprised. I think because I had doubts about the fiber content being like a really like wool, super warm um, fiber content, that I thought for sure it would be the other way. I thought this would get like 5 votes. I thought everybody was going to be like, nope, wool, wool, wool. So I didn't know. I always find it interesting, like what people are voting for. Is it the color or is it the yarn? And I think it's probably a little bit of both, right? Because if you like really, really don't like pink, you're probably going to go with the other option. So, anyways, it is super fun. Lynn, you like knitting with Remix. I know it is really lovely, isn't it? So that's what I'm going to do this week is work on that hat. So the pattern, it is free. If you guys want to go download the pattern, if anybody wants to knit along with me, go see what you've got in your stash. 1 ball of worsted weight yarn and tag me on Instagram because I would love to see if you knit along with me. There's usually a couple of people sometimes when I have patterns that I say I'm going to knit that knit along with me. So it's fun to see other projects knitting up in different colors. And yeah, I think if you want to, do it. Bates, Susanna, Bates. Let me find my picture. I tried to get a picture. Did it? Okay. Bates. Bates hat. Can I type it in the chat here? That's all it is. And yeah, go put it in your Ravelry library because you may just want it sometime this winter. Might make a really good gift hat. The Fiber Friends, the month of November, we're just doing gift knitting for all of your holiday gift giving needs. And this hat would be perfect because who doesn't just need a nice cabled hat, right? Okay, what else? Oh, my never ending shawl. Shall we talk about that? You guys, it is looking so good. This was a fantastic idea a couple of weeks ago. I think we were talking about these yarn caddies. Oh my gosh, Louise, is it number 1 in hot right now? It was I don't think it was number 1 this morning, but it was in the top 5. And, yeah, well, I think look at that. I think it's a perfect, right? It's the perfect time of year. People are starting to think about it getting cold potentially soon, and holidays are coming. One skein of worsted like, who doesn't have one skein of worsted weight yarn, right? Yeah, it's like all it ticks all the boxes. Can do stash yarn, gift for yourself, it's just it's great. And the cables look super fun. All right, look at this. It's getting smaller. There's still a lot of yarn there. I should actually weigh it or not. I guess it doesn't matter. But I'm down to, the last few color changes in here. And like, I cannot wait to end with this really, really dark teal. So this is coming along. I moved my stitch marker so I could see my progress for the week, and it doesn't look like a whole lot, but it's kind of consistent with every week. So there's my stitch marker. So I got, that much more height, this much more width, slow and steady. Yes, I do. I pick it up and I do kind of 2 nights, 2 rows every night. Sometimes I miss a night, then I do 4 rows. And slowly but surely, it is getting there. The colors are gorgeous. It's getting some width on it. It is lovely. So again, the ball band's gone. The ball band, all my ball bands seem to end up in, I don't know where, somewhere. This was a cotton acrylic, so there's no wool in this either, but it does feel really, really nice. Like, look at all those color changes. Once you get in, like in the gray, you can see a lot of different shades. Once you get up here into the blue, maybe not. That has to be changing again, but it's really, really subtle there, isn't it? Hi, Diane. So, anyways, this is going. I'm loving it. I'm liking it. I'm going to be sad when it's done. One of these Mondays, I'm going to be saying my never ending shawl is done. And then I will have to find something else to cast on another shawl. So that'll be coming, I don't know, in the next couple few weeks. It'll when it's getting closer, we'll vote on some more yarn for another shawl. But for right now, it's coming along good. Okay. Last week's last week's project. The shrug you guys were voting for, it was either the orange pickles yarn, which is a fingering weight, or I had some super bulky, some nice like brown marled yarn that was a Bernat something or other. You guys voted for the fingering weight. um, yeah, it's fingering weight. Anyways, I'm trying not to let that thought get stuck in my head because I'm like, it's fingering weight. Oh my gosh, what was I thinking? Why did I pick this? Because of Asa. Because because I know I should be knitting with this yarn and it's gonna look fantastic, but oh my gosh, you guys, this might take a little longer than I had anticipated. I think I need to redo my math because either that or recount. Maybe I lost count when I was casting on because I'm not at the number of stitches I thought I needed. And I'm like, but wait a second. I'm like, this is looking huge. So we'll see. I'm gonna do a little double check, but this is the start of the shrug. I did pull out the shawl that I had knit. It was like basically done. I was probably waiting to be cast off and I pulled it all out because I didn't really like the shaping that I was doing. It was a boomerang shape, but I don't think I was doing the decreasing so it didn't have the angle. It was very straight up and down, straight, and then going out. I don't know. It wasn't I like the way I do them now. I started this a couple years ago, and then it's just been sitting, and so I just didn't like the shape of it, so I pulled it all out. Also reminded me that I had only bought 1 ball when I was in Norway, which was the one that I had used to knit the shawl with, and then she sent me over 4 balls. So what I've got here is I'm working with the 4 balls that are all the same dye lot, and then you know what? I thought about that. I thought as I was casting on, I thought, yes, I should put a stitch marker every 50 stitches so I know where I am. But yeah, did I do that? No. I should have, but no. So I'm gonna have to just count. But yes, I know. I am like really bad at that. It's like you guys need to do what I say, not as I do, because sometimes I don't take my own advice, even when I know it would be beneficial in the long run. But I do have to say, I did make a very smart choice as I'm casting on here. So as you can see, it looks like a bit of a tangled mess at the moment, but it's really not. It's not. But what I was going to say is I grabbed 2 balls of the fingering weight. I am not knitting it double. I am just going to knit it single, which I don't know. Right at the moment, I'm reconsidering that thought too. Maybe I should knit it double because I don't know. If I do it fingering, is there any hope in me getting it done like this fall? Probably not. Hmm. I might gauge double now that I'm thinking about it. But oh, hey Paula. Oh, it's Monday. You forgot. You didn't vote. Did you see the 2 colors? I will show you. You can tell me which one you would have picked. The hot pink or the red, the Barocco remix. Anyways, you guys, what I was doing, it was I had to cast on like quite a few stitches. And for some reason, I just thought, you know what? I don't want to take the chance of running out when I'm doing the long tail cast on. So I just found 2 ends of 2 balls and just cast on. Just left a little short tail, used both strands from the 2 balls. So I had yarn over both my thumb and my finger to give me the 2 strands and just started casting on. So I could just keep casting on and on and on and on and not have to worry about my tail running out and then having to restart. So that's what I did. So once I get the right number of stitches on, I will just take 1 ball and I will snip the yarn and remove it. All that will do is it'll leave me a tail on each end. And the only downside I can see to that is if you are somebody who uses your tail to kind of mark which side you're on, either like the right or the wrong side, you won't have that option now because you're going to have a tail on both ends. So then you just have to put a marker on or, read your stitches. Not the end of the world. I don't know, you guys. Okay, help me out here since I'm just like casting on here. Keep it single or should I double it? I'm going to do a garter stitch because I just want something cozy and squishy. Like really like just having a big garter stitch blanket shawl, right, with sleeves. Just something cozy and squishy, just something to throw on. If I double it, will I have enough yarn? That's my only concern. What do you guys think? Ella says double, Liz says double. I know, double. I mean, double fingering is 2 strands of fingering is going to be about a worsted, right? So it's not super, super heavy and bulky. I think I could handle that. I think I could do that. Maybe I will do that. Oh, it ends up DK, Liz says. Yeah. So, yeah, like, look, if I double this and then go up, I'm not even sure what size. I think, what did I say? 4mm needle, I think is what I'm using. Double this and go to a 5mm. Cast on less stitches. It'll knit up way faster. If you have enough yarn, double. Yeah, I wonder. I don't know if I have enough yarn though. I only have I have 400 gram skeins plus the one that's not the same dye lot. So I mean, I could use that and just alternate it in at the end. Hey Cheryl, maybe consider doing garters. Oh, not reconsider. Yes, I could do stockinette because that would use less yarn than garter stitch. I could do that. You're as a good suggestion, Cheryl. Do stockinette and double it. I could. What's the worst case? I get so far, realize I'm not going to have enough yarn. I pull it out and start again single. I mean, that's not the end of the world, right? Oh, Diane says use a different color for a marled look. That could be an option too. That could be an option as well. Okay, something to think about here. Okay, I'm going to think about this. Otherwise, I could just do it single. And it could be like my never ending shawl. It is just the never ending shrug. And maybe I will have it done for Christmas. Christmas, just in time to wear an orange shrug. But that would be fine. It would be perfect. I'm not thinking of this as Halloweeny colors. I'm just thinking of it as orange that I like, a burnt orange that I really, really like. And it would be fun to wear. Okay, I'm gonna think about that the next like, I don't know, little while. Oh, this says search Ravelry for shrug patterns and look at yardage. Yes, you are right. So, and actually all the shrug patterns that I have in my favorites are like not fingering weight. They are actually, I don't even know if there was. I think I did do a search for fingering weight, and I think I came up with one, and it was lacy. I might have been looking for free ones too. So just to get an idea of the yardage. So yeah, I may have to revisit that, Liz. Thank you. That's also a good suggestion. Cream and orange. Oh, it would be nice, Sally. I have got a few balls of cream colored croy I could hold with it. That would be nice, wouldn't it? Uh-huh. Okay. You guys are wonderful. So I always like putting these questions out there because you guys give me lots of great. Okay, DK weight versus fingering weight. So, I mean, DK weight, I mean, it's still not a big, big jump, is it? It's not like doing a bulky weight versus a fingering weight. Okay. I will do some. We're going to put this project on hold for this week, maybe till like Sunday. I don't think I'm going to have time to do any like serious contemplating until after I'm finished. I'm teaching my first class of the fall on Saturday, so I do have to do a little bit of prep work for that. And then once that is done, then we'll go back to the show or the shrug. Okay, what else do I have here? See, I've got oh, what is in here? Oh yeah. Okay. I just have projects shoved in a bag. So we'll see. This was a new start from a couple of weeks ago. What did I think this was the yarn. Still sitting here. I think you guys were voting on this. Remember this orangey colored one? Or this was the DK weight. And you guys voted for DK. So this is what I'm working on. So you can tell I don't have a whole lot because my ball is still pretty much a ball. But look at these colors. This was from Yarn Bird Studio. And I think it was just a one of a kind. There was no name on this, but isn't it fantastic? So I was at Suzanne. So this is Suzanne from Knit Stitch. This is her hand-dyed yarn. Last time I was in her shop, which was last weekend, she had some yarn dyed up and she had knit a sample. And I was just like, I loved the way her yarn knit up. There was no pooling in her sample. And so far on this sock, I don't think there's any pooling on here either. So I'm like really liking how she does her dyeing and where she puts her colors and how it knits up. So obviously, I mean, this is DK yarn. So if you were knitting something else, I mean, wider, like if it was a cowl, the colors are going to land differently probably, but I don't know. So far, so good. I'm liking this. I've got my ribbing done. I decided to be adventurous. And instead of doing 2x2 ribbing, I did 1x1. And you know what? Well, I don't know. I think I like for socks, I like the look of 2x2 better, but that's fine. And I have started a little bit of the leg. See? You can see stockinette in there. But I'm just knitting around and round on my little short circular 3.25 millimeter needle, 48 stitches. I want to get some serious work done on this one, like yet tonight. Get work on the leg, but I'm liking this. I knit the cuff in no time at all. You guys, DK socks. Maybe my answer to my sock knitting dilemma. As I talk about sock knitting dilemma, I still have a dainty sock that is not finished. It is a shorty, you guys. It is a shorty, and it is still here with half a foot. But I don't even know. I'm not even sure I knit on it this week. I was going to do a push on this because I thought this past weekend going to the knitters fair, I thought, okay, I should wear a new pair of socks. And I'm like, do I finish a DK pair? Do I finish the dainty socks? It was supposed to be on the warmer side. So I thought, okay, I'll finish these. But then as the week went on, I was looking at the temperature and it was like going to be 30 degrees. I'm like, I'm not wearing, I just pictured it being super, super hot in there at the show with all of the people, all of the vendors. I'm like, I don't think I'm wearing hand knit socks. So that ended my knitting excitement to try and get them finished because I wasn't going to wear them. So that was the end of that. But at some point they will be done because they're super, super close. This project, this is the Noro, one that looks like fall but has got bright colors poking out there. This is one I don't think I knit. I'm not even sure if I knit anything at all on this. I was so gung-ho on this last week, loving this, just seeing how the colors were starting to knit up and just starting to go into like a purpley pinky. Do its thing on this. I'm just increasing on the edges, on front and back rows, and on the center on every right side row. So it's nice, but this could take the place of my never ending shawl. Once it's done, this could be my one just to keep going on. It's just going to be a one skein. Hopefully it will be. It is going to be a shallow wider. When I say skinny points on the end and shallower. We'll just see how big it gets just being the one skein. But anyways, this project is off to a good start. I'm really, really liking it. So it's just finding some time to work on all of these projects from the last little while. Do I have anything else? I've got my stripy sock that I showed you guys. This was another one that I found. I started working on the heel flap on this. It was a little bit of a mess last night when Cheryl and I were chatting. So I think I've got it sorted out. My stitches reorganized. I don't know what the heck happened. I think partly while Cheryl and I were talking, I started knitting my stitches, onto the same needle, not a new needle. And anyways, yeah, was that. But this is really pretty yarn and it's stripes. So I'm going to really try to get this done because this is holiday yarn. So it will count as Christmas socks for, November, December. So new yarn. I did get some new yarn at the Knitters Fair on Saturday. I was looking for 2 things. I know, guys, don't laugh at me, but I wanted sock yarn. And I know, you guys are gonna say, "But Louise, you never finish socks on a regular basis," and I'm trying to rectify that. So, I was looking for minis because I don't know, I seem to be a little obsessed with them. That's what I looked for at Knit City, um, Toronto, and I loved the minis that I came home with, and I just happened to have some random ones just sitting here. Some Leo and Roxy, like a neon orange. Here's a Leo and Roxy. And I did not get these at Kitchener. These are just, you know, hanging out with me right here as I'm chatting. And anyways, I know minis, am just loving these because, make great stripe projects. You could do whatever you want with them. And I don't know. And do they really count as stash because they're not a whole ball of yarn? Maybe that's also part of my mindset. But oh, get in a bucket should be correct. Oh, somebody said, oh no, Paula, you said you found 3 mistakes in a pattern. But knitting a toy duck from a book and I found 3 mistakes. Yikes. Yeah, when things come in a book, they should be well test knitted and tech edited and all the things, right? There shouldn't be mistakes. Anyways, I was looking for minis and I was looking for DK sock. So the minis I was looking at like regular fingering sock weight. And I was looking for DK yarn because I do want to knit up a few more pairs of DK socks. So I ended up not buying any minis. I was really, really tempted. Oh shoot, what are they? They're from North Bay, a yarn shop from North Bay. They were in Knit City, Toronto, and I bought minis from them there. And I was drawn to their minis again in Kitchener, and then I realized it was the exact same yarn shop. So I'm like, okay, there's something about their colors that I absolutely love. And I was really, really tempted, but in the end, I found this skein of DK sock yarn. You guys, Elizabeth is the dyer here. Hoko Hoko Fiber Co. She's local. She is just in St. Thomas, not like half an hour away. She had this knit up into a sock and it looked so lovely. Not my colors at all, but I just couldn't resist it. It just looked so fun. And a mini came with it. So it's red. I'm not going to put that together. I will just do the heels and toes all in this, but this will make like a great little Christmas mini stocking or a mini hat or a Christmas ball or something for decoration this December. But I just love this, you guys. So Hoko Hoko, her name is Elizabeth. Very, very lovely woman. I saw her last year for the first time at Woolstock and bought some yarn. Cheryl said she saw Elizabeth at the Erin show. Okay, this. Oh, can't get this. Yes, she's got really cool labels, but they are hard to sometimes see. Anyways, yeah, so it was really nice. Her yarn is really, really gorgeous. This is, let's see, what can I tell you about this? So you guys can look her up online. It's www.hocohocofiberco. I just love saying that. So Hoko Hoko, Hoko, I believe is short for Hong Kong because that is where she's from. And yeah, I just think it's a really, really fun name and with lots of meaning in it for her. So anyways, yeah, go check her out. So this is a superwash. Her yarn base is Dove DK. The color is Funfetti. And it is fiber type 75. It's a 75-25. It's a DK, 100 grams, 225 meters. So this is going to be really fun. Anyways, so that's all I bought. I looked at a lot of things. There were so many gorgeous yarns. But I really, you guys know I don't need a whole lot of yarn, and I really, really want to work from my stash. So that's why I didn't buy yarn for today's New Start Monday. I did dig it out from my stash. And I literally did some digging for it. So, yeah, I'm excited. I'll get one ball knit out of my stash this week, you guys. That's slow and steady progress on the stash. Um, knitting, how stashing knit. I don't know. What do you want to say that? We saw Jessica, a friend, a knitter that used to come to Knit Stitch a few years ago. Jessica moved from London, and we saw her at Kitchener this past weekend, and she had not bought yarn because she started on a yarn diet, and I think she said in November. So she is trying to go a full year without knitting or without buying yarn. So I asked her, I'm like, okay, you've knit out of your stash, and she's a prolific knitter. Like, she knits socks and baby items, and she knits all the things. And I said, okay, have you seen a dent in your stash? And she's like, no. I'm like, that is disheartening. If and so I thought, oh my gosh, there's like going to be like almost no hope for me to see any dent in my stash for a really, really long time. But I'm going to make an attempt, and I'm going to try to start whittling away some of it here. So my yarn shopping is going to be, yeah, a lot less than it has been. And it has been pretty much all year. I've been really careful about what I buy. Because I don't want to say I'm not going to buy any, because I tried that once and that really doesn't last very well. Sticks and Stones in North Bay. That's it, Louise. Oh my gosh, Louise, you're like my personal assistant here. Yes, thank you so much. Yes, they are lovely. And both times in Toronto and in Kitchener, the girls that are in the booth are like really, really friendly, super helpful. It's great. I would, do a weekend road trip and go away for the weekend and go check out their shop. It's yeah, I would do that someday. Anyways, Lynn, what is going, I see some like oh no's in here. Kim, you started a pair of Regia socks on Saturday. We went on a Lake Erie day cruise. Walking up to the ship, I tripped. Oh no, sprained your wrist. You tripped on the sidewalk barrier and fell. Sprained your wrist. Oh no, knitting. Oh no, Kim. Okay, I hope you're feeling better. So nothing broken though, right? But oh dear, no knitting. Shoot. That is not good. You're going to have to switch to audiobook listening or something until your wrist is up to doing some knitting. Or can you switch? Can you go from like English knitting to continental knitting, or can you do Portuguese knitting with just kneading your thumbs? Maybe, or maybe after a week or so, after you've healed up a little bit. Oh, shoot. Well, I hope you're feeling better soon. All right, you guys. Well, we're almost at the hour mark. So what else is everybody working on? Does anybody think they're going to cast on the Bates hat? It would be a fun project, I think. Oh, shoot. Nothing. Okay, nothing broken. That's good, but I can't use your left hand at all. Yikes. That's not good. Well, yeah, just definitely rest it. I am kind of teasing. It's not the end of the world. Well, sort of kind of is, but it's not. If you can't knit for a week or so, right? Just let it heal and rest it. Sally, you're working on Croy Mulberry Stripe Socks. That's right. I love that colorway. I realized that it's a sport weight, so Frogged went and started over. Yeah, we were kind of talking about that last night, right? That Cheryl's mom was having issues that hers was coming out too big. And yeah, I never, even though Croy is heavier, I still have always just treated it as a regular like sock weight, not going up to like a sport weight or anything. But yeah, I guess you got to do what your gauge indicates, right? And so um did you go up a needle size and less stitches? Yeah, it's always finding that balance, right? Sometimes your first pair has to be prototype. That's the word I'm thinking, right? And just kind of get all the kinks worked out and see what's going to fit you. And then once you know, then you're set for all the future pairs, right? That's good. So I've got a striped project that I've got to cast on for the Fiber Friends. I've got a project in mind. I've got my yarn all set aside. I just have to get it started. Yeah, I've got lots of great projects, and I'm hoping this is gonna be I've got ambitious goals for this week. I have got one project that I haven't shown you guys in a couple of weeks, and it is like 98% finished. So I am really hoping that I can just take a couple of hours, probably out of the weekend, and get it finished. So then Monday I'll be able to have it finished to show you. So we'll see if that happens or not. Oh, Sally said, oh, this is the first time that it came out huge. Okay, so exactly what the problem Robin was having is that like Cheryl was saying last night, that her mom cast on same needles, same number of stitches, toe up, but it was coming out huge. So I wonder if they have changed the yarn. I mean, if that's we were thinking that Robin was just, I don't know, just super relaxed. Maybe her gauge was off to what it normally is. But Sally, if yours is coming out the same way, that's kind of interesting, isn't it? So you're using a 2.5 and you cast on 52. Okay. And I think Robin was going to go down to a 2 millimeter. Yeah, those will be tight socks. Well, anyway, yeah, fine. I guess you just got to figure out what works for you, right? Play around with it. Lynn, you finished the Coffee Run Collar by Samantha Gurin. It's a modern day Dickie. Interesting. Okay. So does it actually look like the Dickies that we all wore, like the turtleneck and then the like the rectangle front you just like shove in your coat? Oh, oh, and now you're working on Nebula by Andrea Mowry. Lovely. Sally, you made several pairs with Croy by using 2.25, 65, 64 stitches. So isn't that funny how, I don't know, isn't that crazy? Um, hmm. Lynn, have you had the same? You're saying you too. So have you always Yeah, I don't know. That's funny. Nancy, I've always used 2.25 for hand-dyed fingering as well as the Croy. It does make the Croy like really, really tight gauge, but then they also wear for years and years and years and years. Like they are like iron. They wear really well. Um, yeah, which makes me think that maybe for the hand dyed, like the finer sock weight, like I mean, what is the gauge on it? 28 stitches to 4 inches, and other sock yarns with like 32 stitches over 4 inches. So it's definitely finer. I'm almost thinking that I should be going down in needle size when I'm knitting those. Anyways, I feel that's like another sock experiment for this winter, is knitting my hand dyed sock yarns on a smaller needle to get them a little snugger. Anyways, it is like a never-ending knitting adventure journey, right? It's just when you think you've got something figured out, somebody comes up with another idea, another technique, and you're like, I think I should give that a try, right? So what keeps this all so fun. Thanks, guys, for hanging out tonight and for chatting in the chat and for voting. We had lots of votes today, which was really fun. And you guys truly did surprise me, because I was sure if I was betting money on this, I would have bet my brand new skein of sock yarn that you guys were going to all vote for the classic quilt. So I am completely surprised. And it's just so fun because I'm excited to cast on that remix. Just to knit with it because it is absolutely lovely. And then just to see how a hat does. Okay, it's gone. No, here it is. It's got orange yarn sitting on top of it just to see how it knits up. So it will be a really fun little just knitting experiment to see. And, and what I think, the conclusion I come up with, maybe not what you guys all think of, or the 40 pages on Ravelry, what they think. So it's, you just got to take everybody's advice um, and just, kind of think about how it works for you. Anyways, you guys, label indicates superfine 1, needle 2.25 and 30. Oh, does the label say, like Croy says 32? See, I wonder if they've changed their labels because I know for a fact ooh, that Croy yarn has, well, up until maybe now, has never said a 2.25 needle. It has always said, yeah, see this one here says 3.25 millimeter, which is like a DK sock yarn. But somebody else had said lately that theirs had said a 2.25 or a 2.5. Interesting. Yeah, it says superfine 1, which I think that has always said. So they've never labeled it as a DK or a sport weight. Interesting. Yeah, I'm not sure. So Nancy says 2.75. Okay, you guys. I haven't. I wonder where I do have some newer Croy. What does this say? Now I'm curious. Nope. Oh, yes. This one here does say 2.75. But see, different labels. This is a new label. This is old. Interesting. So they have changed that. I wonder. Okay. Anyways, I will sit here and wonder all night. But we're not going to do that because I got some serious knitting I got to do, you guys, because I want to get lots done to show you next week. So Jocelyn and I are chatting Saturday night. We normally would have been scheduled to chat this Friday night, but it's Eric's birthday and we are going bowling. So Jocelyn and I are going to chat Saturday night. Cheryl and I will be chatting Saturday morning over on the Fiber Friends channel, and then we'll be back here Monday. So I will see you a lot towards the end of the week. So everybody have a great week. Get lots of knitting done. Have a fantastic work week. And I will catch up with you all on Saturday. Have a great week, everybody. Thanks for voting. Happy knitting. Oops, hold on. Wrong button. Okay. Bye, everybody.